Okay, guys, this is part one of the council meeting from this past Monday. I edited it to show you the proof that this guy's talking about. He just annihilates the council. They're lying SOBs, and this guy proves it. Check it out. Thank you.
What's the interest rate on that?
We don't know. There isn't one.
So our counselor just told the entire city of Aransas Pass there's no interest rate on this loan, in which there is. What does that tell you guys? Well, for one, Gary, give you some advice. If you don't know anything, be quiet, shut up, then people don't know you're stupid. Two, too late, we already know you're stupid.
Our total repayment, if you proceed, for the putting $16 million into your construction account, total repayment is going to be $22,984,000.
Okay, you can go ahead and come up, and we're going to do it 3 minutes at a time.
Sir,
Yes.
that was not posted.
Okay, well.
I'll try to hurry, but I tell you this because I know a thing or two about property taxes. And I'm going to set it straight on the inaccurate information this city has conveyed to the citizens, this city has displayed. Poor leadership is bad for business. The following is the truth with fact, of which you will soon receive a copy. Sorry about that. I am shocked. After looking at the most recent and only available audited government fund statement for 2022, the Harbor Fund, Aquatic Center, and the Civic Center lost a combined $462,000. A loss.
I was talking about is our financial report for 2023, and he is correct. You know, as you can see here, there's grants and FEMA received, which is like $7 million. He'll talk about it here in a minute, but so I'll go back to that. But what he's capturing right now is this right here. And this is basically stating that we lost money at the Aquatic Center and the Civic Center. The Aquatic Center totaled $250,000, and the operating expenses were $407,000. Civic Center is $107,000, but the operating expenses were $484,000. As you can see here, he shows you. The Harbor made some money. Aquatic Center, $151,000, $156,000 in the hole. Civic Center, $376,000 in the hole, for a combined of $462 loss, $462,000 loss. But what this gentleman did not know is that I already thought about this, and this what you're seeing right here was not what they put out in 2023 in November. They put out in 2023, guys, and I had huge red flags about it. So it basically says here that the Civic Center operating expenses were $407,000 and only made $250,000 in profit. I'm sorry, the Aquatic Center. But as you can see there, they blamed it on COVID pandemic repairs. Civic Center, $107,000 in revenue, but $484,000 to run the place. Why? Well, because COVID pandemic. I don't know about you guys, but there was no COVID pandemic in 2023. Also noted, guys, is that even if there was a COVID pandemic, what the hell are we spending $500,000 on? That's a lot of bleach, right? It's a lot of HEPA filters we bought for that. Didn't make any sense, right? So I asked him, I want the cost breakdown on what exactly we spent all this money on for COVID repairs. After a while, they wrote back, see the dates? November 27th, so it took them 17 days to get back to me. By the way, Freedom of Information Act's only 10 business days, but these guys do this all the time because they don't care. Anyway, they basically said they made an error on page 19, and they removed some sentences. And what they removed was the COVID stuff, right? What I found out, guys, is that they actually copied and pasted from the 2022 financial report. That's right, guys. Sandra Garcia, our guru person of financial, copied and pasted the wrong reports. Guess who approved that? Gary Edwards, the other guru that doesn't lie to y'all, right? Anyway, guess who was supposed to review that too? Our city council. Did they review it? Hell no, they didn't review it, because some lonely little jarhead, meathead, they would call me, gym owner, who is a criminal in their eyes, found this. So that tells me none of them are doing their job. And we're paying these guys, and these guys are running our city. Anyway, what they finally wrote back is that they had a misspelled word on page 46. Can you believe that, guys? These guys are the most narcissistic scumbags that I've ever met in my life.
Gross revenues only totaled $24 million. The city would have operated at a $2.5 million loss if not for the $7 million worth of grants in FEMA aid. To operate profitably, this city is dependent on, listen to this, municipal welfare. 29% of the city's gross revenue was in the form of grants and aid. This aid counts as revenue. In fact, the number one revenue source for this city is municipal welfare. It's the largest revenue driver ahead of property taxes and sales taxes. Let that sink in for a bit. According to the city's recent audited report, unbelievably, we also have $20 million worth of existing debt. This is fiscal incompetence. In the attached legal posting by the city, our existing debt with interest is $24 million. In light of this, 4 council members would like to burden the taxpayer with another $16 million of new debt. With interest, this will be, well, it was $27 million in the posting. Mark, you just said it was 22, I believe. Thank you for that.
This man is an ace, right? He's a guru. He's got brass balls, and I love to have shaken his hand that night. Anyway, he's right. 29% gross revenue, municipal welfare. See that right there? $7 million we got grants. Right, here's our total at 23. It's all broken down where you can read it, right? 4 million, almost 5 million is our balance at the end of the year. Well, he's right. If you take that 7 million grant out of there, what do you have? We're in the hole, $2.5 million. These are not the councilmen they said they are. They're liars, manipulators, and thieves. They brag and brag and brag about how good they did in the last 5 years. Well, bullshit, guys. The only reason they did any good at all is because Harvey came through and devastated us, and the government came and saved our asses with tons of millions of dollars, and these guys took credit for it.
Well, in the wake of Hurricane Harvey, Aransas Pass city leaders have spent millions of dollars in grant money to help rebuild this community. City manager Gary Edwards, who met with me, says with recovery comes development.
Consequently, we've been able to address a fair amount of infrastructure, but as you get into the process, you realize there's a lot more to do also.
Aransas Pass city leaders have spent the last 5 years picking up pieces left behind from Hurricane Harvey.
A 20-year term. The city wishes to fund construction by using a loophole to prevent a vote by the citizens. 4 council members are proposing to finance these improvements using a certificate of obligation or CO debt, and y'all have an explanation of that in your packets as well. This type of debt was created as a quick funding mechanism for emergencies, which does not require voter approval. This is the route 4 of your elected leaders have chosen. They do not want you to decide the economic fate of your city. They are stripping you of your rights, and that is the power of the vote and its trust. The council can use this loophole to fund this debt, but it is not the right thing to do. An example, a police officer can go through a school zone at 60 miles an hour at 8 o'clock in the morning. Can the officer legally do this? Yes, but it is not the right thing to do. It is wrong. If the 4 members of council do not do the right thing, the city will have accumulated a total of $46 million worth of bond debt with interest. This is irresponsible. No sane person would agree to this, and I'm scratching my head and asking why. Whose ridiculous idea is this? 1, to take on this amount of debt. 2, to do this without a vote by the citizens. I ask, this is not rocket science. I ask the citizens the following. Please listen to this. There's a provision in state law requiring at least 5% of qualified voters to petition for an election to vote on this bond debt. A petition needs to happen tonight. I ask the council to sell the need of a new and fire police station to the citizens, but with correct information, not misleading, vague, and omissive information. The city has communicated false statements in its survey, in its meeting minutes, and in the Progress newspaper, in 3 different messages, and here we go. One message by the city manager said, without a property tax increase. Another message from the administration said, without increasing property taxes in the newspaper. Another message in the survey said, without increasing the property tax rate. Which is it? All these statements are
talking about the Aransas Pass Citizens Beck New Fire Station survey that they did. If you read right here, it says, would you support the new fire station building and police station renovations? It could be done without increasing property taxes. They're lying to you. Okay, I do get a kick out of this though, guys, right here. The fire chief, Nathan Kelly, is basically saying the overwhelming majority of us want this construction. But if you actually read the survey, it was 3,800 citizens, and there's roughly 9,000 of us here, 8,500. And only 274 filled this out, guys. They lie to you. They manipulate data. They're cheaters, liars, and thieves. This is totally a false claim. Your taxes can and will.
Incidentally, the tax rate for Aransas Pass is more than twice the amount than it is for the taxpayers of Rockport, which is 0.36% compared to ours of 0.76%. If this council chooses not to do the right thing, I ask the citizens, use state law to your advantage and take this to an election. Remember, only 5% of the voters will be needed to petition for an election. To the other 4 members of council, man up and please do not hide behind this loophole. The misinformation conveyed to the citizens in the financial quagmire this city is in, you have proof of everything I just said at your
This is some of the stuff he's talking about, the lack of transparency, in which I've been telling y'all that since I started fighting the city. They say transparency, but they hide and lie to you guys. So if you read this, the Aransas Pass did not live stream the October 23rd work session or post a record on its YouTube. So they did it in secret. They talked about this bond in secret. I mean, you could have walked up there, but nothing's publicized, nothing's shared with the community. There is no transparency. These guys will do whatever it takes to get what they want. And I guarantee these guys are getting envelopes for doing this. There's no way they would be in such a rush to push this unless they were getting a kickback.
They need help from the community.
You need public input.
All right, guys, this is the end of part 1. There's going to be a part 2. There's going to be a lot of narcissism coming out of the council meetings in part 2. So stay tuned. Make sure y'all subscribe, check us out, and give us some help in this little small town of Aransas Pass, Texas. Love you guys. Thank you, Patriots. Bye.